It's hot, it's quick and it's loud, and welcome to the awesome world of drag racing. We're here at Santipod Raceway in England for the first round of the FIA European Top Alcohol Championship. But first, it's the British Pro Modified Championship, and it's over to Steve in the pits.
Well, thanks a lot, Russ, and I'm down in the pit lane and I'm sitting next to a Rover. But the only original Rover parts on this particular car here are this badge and the roof panel. You know why? It's because it's a Pro Mod. This beast will do 200 miles an hour because it's got nitrous oxide injection, it's got an 11.5 litre engine which pumps out an amazing 1800 horsepower. But these cars are more than power, these are real crowd pleasers. The Pro Mods produce those big smoking burnouts which get the crowds on their feet. Smoky burnouts and wild wheel spins are one thing, but these babies are the fastest door slammers in the business. They are also supposed to be the hardest cars to drive. And Andy Robinson here is going to tell us just why. Andy, talk us through a run.
Hi Steve. Right, I've just completed the burnout. One of my crew guys will open the door and turn my nitrous oxide bottle on. I'm now looking to go into stage. I will put my foot on the clutch. I will then put my transmission into first gear. I'll take the first and second lever and I'll press my line lock. It doesn't do anything, but it's ready for when I hold the brakes on the line. And then releasing the clutch slowly, I will drive forward with guidance from my crewman into free stage. I will then raise the RPM to 2,500 and very gently kind of nudge the clutch to put myself into full stage. I am then ready to run. I then put my throttle pedal right to the floor. I have my line lock switched on, the light goes green. I let the clutch up. This shift light here will flash around about 1.2 seconds into the pass as I hit 7,400 RPM. I pull this back. Okay, I'm now in second gear. I reach for the next lever. I'm now doing 120 miles an hour. The light flashes in 1.5 seconds again. I pull this. I'm now in third gear. I put my hand back onto the fourth gear lever. I'm now doing approximately 140 miles an hour. Pull. I'm now in fourth gear. It's taken me 4.4 seconds to get here. I'm doing 165 miles an hour. I go under the gantry. I know we've come to the end of the quarter mile. I'll push my lever forward. This is my parachute. Release my parachute. Pull round. The engine's turned off. Top end stop.
96 miles per hour. Well, we're coming up for the quarterfinals now, and Andy's about to get out there, and it's over to John Price.
Steve, thank you very much indeed. Always interesting to learn exactly what these guys have to do in what is ostensibly a high 6 to low 7 second run. Really startling the number of actions they have to undertake. Well, here's our first pair in the quarterfinals of Pro Modified. Simon Payne with this street car. Yep, seriously, he drives that car on the street. It's a Camaro, runs a 515 cubic inch engine. Up against Michael Geely with his Vauxhall Calibra, the only automatic car in the business. They're in stage. This is the nerve tickling point where they know they've got to react well against those green lights coming on. And it's a better reaction time for Michael Geely, 7.97.
We've had a bit of a disastrous season so far. We've done 6 pistons the last meeting, but that makes it all worthwhile now. We're into the second round. Who knows from there?
That was a terrific run for Michael Geely. He's got the smallest engine in the class, 500 cubic inches, reacts with a .49 and then completes the quarter mile. A good run, 7.97. Simon Payne's going home. Here's the man that Steve was talking to earlier on, and he's up against Neil Taylor with the beautifully prepared Ford Probe. But Taylor has had problem after problem in the 1997 season. Last year, this man was driving a Chevrolet Lumina and doing very, very well in class. This year, what a frustrating year. Every time the car gets into an elimination, it breaks down. It leaves Gus Robinson in there on his own with the Rover. And we call it a Rover. The team are now calling this machine Fido. The humour of it all gets lost on me. So here we go. Gus Robinson on a bye run into the next round. He was our number 2 qualifier, having run a 6.911. But he doesn't sit back at all. He flies through the quarter mile, runs through 7.12 at 196.
Yeah, we're going to approach the next round, but 7.12 is not very good. Thank you very much.
Well, Ray Simpson expressing the thought that 7.12 isn't very good. It is to me. 196 miles per hour at the end of that run. Here's our next pair. Dave Pollen with the Pollen Count car. This is a Mustang. This is a full pop. Yep, indeed, the full pop of Danny Cockerell. And Cockerell, the man from Essex, up against the man from North London here, Dave Pollen. Pollen coming back into pro modified racing in 1997, and Dan Cockerell transferring from the Outlaw Anglias, where this full pot would normally race, into the magic world of pro modifieds. Now then, Pollen was our number 3 qualifier, running a career best of 7.04. Danny Cockerell some 3/4 of a second slower than that, so moving to stage. They're away, almost identical start line reactions, but the power of the Mustang tells over that evil handling full pop.
Yeah, it all seemed to go well. Are you going to win? We hope so.
One of the Pollen family there crewing on Dave Pollen's car, and you can see Danny Cockerell's machine going every which way but straight away from the start line. That is so difficult to handle, and Dave Pollen puts him away with a run of 7.16, 192 miles per hour. Well, here's our final competitor with that huge smoky burnout. Hey, where's the track gone? This is Gordon Appleton in his Camaro. Still looks like one of these classic American muscle cars, but that is a full race chassis in there, a massive 665 cubic inch Chevrolet Eagle engine, and Gordon was our number 1 qualifier, ran down into the 689s. So he's on a bye run into the semi-final, where he will be meeting Michael Cheeley, and he will be looking for lane choice. The man with the quickest elapsed time of the preceding elimination will have lane choice, and quite often these racers favour one lane or the other, but he flies through. He's got lane choice quite comfortably, 6.99. Look at that terminal speed, 203 miles per hour. Well, this is how they're set up in the semi-finals. Appleton against Cheeley, Robinson against Pollen, and Appleton and Robinson with lane choice. Well, that was round 2 of the British Pro Mod Championship. Here we are into round number 1, a great expectant crowd here at Santipod of the FIA 1997 Top Alcohol Championship. And our number 1 qualifier is this man, Peter Beck from Switzerland. What a great year he's having. Should have been racing against Andy Hill, who got a little bit out of shape earlier on, and you'll be seeing that a little bit later. But Peter Beck makes no mistakes, runs through 6.18. Very, very professional man he is becoming. Been running 5s all the way through the weekend up until then. Well, here's our next pair. Dragster against Funny Car. Rob Turner from Great Britain up against Michael Kagarat from Sweden. Now, Michael with the Funny Car was the number 2 man in the FIA Championship last year. He was our number 4 qualifier here today, running a 6.14. And also running a 6.14, Rob Turner with the Dragster from Great Britain. So these two are our numbers 4 and 5 qualifiers, nothing in it on their preceding times, and both getting quicker and quicker as the weekend progresses. So here we come, moving up into stage again. They're looking for 0.4 reaction times, and they're away. Well, almost identical reaction time of 45 for Michael Kagarat, a 54 for Rob Turner, and Kagarat takes the win, 6.02, terminal speed 231. And so it was almost neck and neck away from that start line, 45 to a 54. But then the power of the Funny Car starts to tell at mid-track. It's Michael Kagarat who takes the win. Not much in that at all. Well, Dragster against Dragster. Battle of the sexes as well. Anglo-German tussle. Everyone's so excited. Number 2 qualifier from Germany, Peter Schofer. Smallest engine in the class, a Rick Santos prepared small block. He ran a 6.08 during qualifying. This is the lady from Great Britain, Faye Fisher, our number 7 qualifier. Learning as she goes, Faye Fisher. And they're into stage. Well, Faye was our number 7 qualifier. A lot slower than Peter Schofer during qualifying, but she cuts a good light away from the start line, but it's Schofer all the way. 6.06 to a 6.48 lose out. A good run from Faye Fisher. She'll be so pleased with that. And a better start line reaction. But Schofer's power of that small block just overtakes her 100 yards out and takes the win. It's Dragster against Funny Car again. Leif Helander with the Funny Car. Leif from Sweden with the Saab funny car. Quite extraordinary, always been associated with that make of funny car, against this man from Hampshire, Dave Wilson, in his home-built dragster, the Krypton dragster. Now, Dave was our number 6 qualifier, ran a 6.17. Leif was our number 3 with a 6.11. This is going to be close between these two. Both of these guys have been around the sport for a long, long time. They know one another so well. Coming up to those staging beams, their senses start to tingle. They know they have to get a good start line reaction. They move into stage, first into pre-stage, then fully into stage, then they're looking for a 0.4 reaction time. They're away. Wilson gets away first, but the power of that funny car, something goes on the funny car. Wilson takes it at the top end and losing 6.69. That was Leif Hollander, just lost it on the finish line. Better start line reaction for Dave Wilson, a 54 to a 60. Now then, let's watch and see what happens. See the explosion underneath the funny car. Obviously the supercharger has gone, and that just allows Wilson to take it on the finish line. So let's have a look how they're set up in the semi-finals. Beck from Switzerland against Kagerad from Sweden, and Schofer from Germany against Wilson from Great Britain.
So the tension is rising as we approach the semi-finals. Make sure you join us after the break, back at the track. Welcome back. Now obviously drag racing is one of the most dangerous forms of motorsport, and just take a look at this. Now miraculously the man that was inside that car got out alive, and he's standing next to me. It's Andy Hill. Andy, talk us through what happened.
Well, it was a new car. It's got the small wheels on the front which make the steering very lively. I'd corrected a few small wobbles. As I shifted into high gear, the car shook and moved into the opposite lane. I tried to bring it back into my own lane. There wasn't anybody there, but your instinct is to move back into your own lane. And one tyre bit in hard on the uneven traction, and it flipped the car on its side.
What sort of condition is the car in now?
It's not as bad as it looks. The injector off the top of the engine's gone, the back wing's gone and the front wings are gone, and there's a bit of superficial chassis damage.
So you won't be racing today?
Not today, back in August hopefully.
Well, if there's anybody out there who fancies helping Andy getting his car back on the track, just give Santapod a call. In the meantime, it's back to John Price.
Right, so it's the semi-finals of the British Pro Mod Championship, and that puts this man, Gordon Appleton, we'll call him the Goliath of our elimination, and he meets Michael Cheeley, the David of the elimination, the man with the smaller engine. Now, Gordon Appleton regularly runs into the 6-second bracket, the high end of the 6s with this Camaro. Michael Cheeley is running in the high end of the 7-second bracket. So Cheeley knows he's got it all to do here. He's got to look for a good light away from the start line. Up to the start line, then move into pre-stage, then fully into stage. Gordon vents the nitrous oxide, just noses the car forward into pre-stage, then fully into stage. This is the time they're looking for 0.4 reaction times. Well, almost identical reaction time, but the power of that Camaro tells 701, 202 miles per hour. Start line reactions, a 53 for Michael Cheeley, but a better 47 for Gordon Appleton. And Appleton just never looked back, takes the win. Again, marvellous terminal speed, 202 miles per hour. Well, now this is going to be interesting between these two. Currently, Dave Pollan is lying second in the championship. This man, Andy Robinson, is third in the 1997 Pro Mod Championship. Well, Dave Pollan was our number 3 qualifier, and he's been around drag racing for a long, long time, made his way up through the ranks, and he knows he will have it all to do here against the man who was our number 2 qualifier, Andy Robinson. So up to the start line once more. Don't forget, we're looking for 0.4 reaction times. The crew look on, gazing into the sunlight as the cars nose up into stage once more, and they're away. There's problems for Dave Pollan. What is he doing? He seems to be asleep on the start line. Over a second reaction time for him. You can't do that with Andy Robinson in the opposing lane. problems for Dave Pollen. Look at that reaction time, 1.66. Look at the reaction time for Andy Robinson, 0.50, and runs a 6.92 at 191 miles per hour. So our final sets up the numbers 1 and 3 men in the championship against one another, Appleton and Robinson. We're into semi-finals of the FIA, the first FIA round of 1997 here at Sandipod. We get visited by the FIA round later in the year for round number 4. But meanwhile, Michael Cagrad, a great favourite here at the track. He's been involved in top alcohol racing for a long, long time. Tremendous amount of experience, a previous Cannonball winner, but really at this point in time, with all those credentials, such good credentials, he's up against a man on a roll. Peter Beck from Switzerland, and Peter has already come along here and taken the first win in the British Top Alcohol Championship earlier on in the season, and now finds himself up against Michael Cagrad. Here we go! And they're away. It's Beck who gets away first, and he stays that way all the way to the finish line. Another 5.98, 223 miles per hour, and this shows the professionalism of these two. Look at those reaction times, a 44 and a 46, and it just shows a man on the peak of his form at the moment. Peter Beck takes that win. Well, ever since I've known top alcohol racing, it has always provided the closest and sometimes the quickest of the classes we see here. Peter Schofer from Germany, the man who was our number 2 qualifier at this event, meets the man from Great Britain with the Krypton car. This is Dave Wilson from Farnborough in Hampshire. And Wilson this year is on a learning curve and doing very, very nicely indeed. A complete new engine setup put in that car towards the end of last season, and certainly a lot of concern around the bug catcher, the intake on Peter Schofer's machine there. Alcohol being a cold burning fuel can sometimes ice up the intakes on top of these engines, either rendering them impossible to open the butterflies or sticking them open. And when you're doing 200 miles per hour, you want to know that you can shut the engine off. Here we go, into stage then. Germany, Peter Schofer against Great Britain, Dave Wilson. They both need to cut a good line away from the start line, waiting for the green to come on. Here they go, easing into stage. Identical start line reactions, but it's Schofer all the way. Well, a good win for Peter Schofer, 6.26 to 6.54. A problem with Dave Wilson's car. He's been having some problems with the valve train on that machine, and that must have told on that run. Almost identical reaction times, and then towards the finish line, it's Schofer who takes it, 6.26. So in the final, it's the two dragsters, Beck against Schofer, with Beck having lane choice.
Now it's pro mod time. Now we're back in the pits, and we're back with Andy Robinson and his Rover. Andy, you've just done a 6.92. Are you going to beat Gordon this afternoon?
Yep. The car's in excellent shape. We ran a 6.92. We're back on song, 192 mile an hour. He ran a 7.01. We've got lane choice. We'll beat him.
Right. Well, we think we should just go and double check with that, because over here we've got Gordon Appleton. Mr. Appleton, you're in the final. I've just had a quick word with Andy Robinson, who says he's going to whip your ass. How do you feel about that?
It's not over till the fat lady sings, and he's certainly not going to whip my ass. I'm going to nail him on the tree.
Well, such fighting talk from our two protagonists here. I'm surprised, nay shocked. And it could well be right. I think Gordon Appleton's prediction there that the tree is all important, that could be the clue to who wins here. These two cars coming into this final are so evenly matched. Remember, of course, that Andy Robinson is the man who is responsible for the construction of both of these cars. Maybe there's a little magic in there somewhere. But the Rover, coming back behind the start line, certainly could do with the points here. He is third in the championship at the moment. Gordon, with the Camaro, is leading the championship. So here we go. The crew chiefs have done their work. They move away into stage. And start line reactions almost identical. It is so close between these two. It's Robinson who just gets there.
Beautiful. Best run all this weekend. Really chuffed. Run 200 687. It's great.
Well, let's watch him away from the start line, and it was Appleton who slightly got the advantage, but only by 1/100th of a second. But at the finish line, it was
This is the top alcohol final, and this man is the fastest qualifier. I'm here in the pits with Peter Beck, and we've got to translate. And so, Peter, you ran at 5.98 in the semi-finals. Will you go a little bit quicker?
Wir hoffen, dass es schneller geht. Es ist möglich mit unserem Auto.
Well, we hope that we can go faster. We try. We really try.
And you're lined up against Peter Schofer, who you've raced once before in Sweden at Mantorp Park, and you beat him then. Do you reckon you'll beat him again?
Ja, wir hoffen es. Die Chancen sind grösser bei uns.
We hope. We have, from the time, we have the chance to beat him. So we do our best.
Steve, despite all of that confidence that the team exudes there, I happen to know that both cars have been suffering a little bit coming through into this final. Peter Beck, well, he's had some clutch problems and they've had to put in a new clutch before this run. And Peter Schofer has been suffering distorted cylinder heads. And he and his team, with this particular machine, are hoping that it's all going to hold together through the final run. Hey, that's not a good thing to go into a final where you know that you're up against such a hard adversary like Peter Beck. So both of them, I should imagine, are coming up to this start line now with their fingers crossed. So who is going to take maximum points from this first top alcohol FIA round here at the track? And they're away together. A better start line reaction from Peter Beck. Peter Schofer just does not get a look in. What do the crew think?
Well done, are you happy?
Yes, very happy.
Well, there you are. 2 in a row.
Happy?
Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it your fastest ever?
No, we had the 5.90 last year, but it's great to have.
So now the championship?
Yeah.
Peter Beck's wife, Regular, just saying that he is on the charge for the championship this year, certainly also leading the British Top Alcohol Championship. But in the FIA Championship, this is how it looks: Beck, Schofer and Kagerad. Well, everybody in celebratory mood as we move into the press conference at the end of this event. And I asked Andy Robinson, as he looks forward to the Cannonball, if he can maintain the consistency the car has.
Oh, sure, yeah, we're on the same numbers, providing the air's good. As regard to how things survive, we have a heavy maintenance program. I have 4 to 5 guys who work with me on the crew. We do a lot of maintenance between race meets, as well as quite a lot in the pits, as you may or may not see if you come down and talk to us.
So that was the first round of the FIA Top Alcohol Championship, and we'll be following the series as it moves into Europe.
And who says alcohol and race cars don't mix? What a class, what racing. Tune in next time.